What's up everyone, Professor Mike, Coach T back again with another great video for you guys talking about the basics of Jiu-Jitsu. Today, talking about control from the back. Yesterday we talked about the mount and I left you with an idea of this. When you get to a dominant position in the fight or in Jiu-Jitsu, be that the mount or the back, don't lose that position. Don't go from a great position to a worse position if you can help it. All right, that should be at the forefront of your mind every time. Rather than, I've got the back, I'm going to go for a choke, didn't work, now they're inside control on top of me. That's not very good jiu-jitsu. All right, so you're going to trade off control and the ability to finish the fight all the time. But you must stay in those positions because you've earned the right to get there. So keep them. All right, what we're not going to talk about today is the details of the back because there's so many. All right, we want to talk about one specific principle, and that's the deficit principle of the back. All right, and that gives you a window or an opportunity, even a system, to beat everybody and get that strangle and win the fight. Okay, so I'm going to take Coach T's back, hooks are in, give me some control over his lower body between my knees. I'm going to take the seatbelt control. I'm not going to take a double underhook control. Yes, it gives me an advantage from control, but from here there's no submission. So I want to come over the top, okay, to my seatbelt control. At this point in time, very simply, I have one control arm, one strangle or choking arm, but my opponent has three ways to defend my attack. He's got two arms and his chin. That's a problem. Do I give up control to try and equalise this battle? No. Why? As soon as I give this control up, he's going to scoot down, okay, and escape my position, and I'm going to end up clutching thin air. Okay, this is not cool. Right, I lose that position. So I want to make sure I keep this control, but systematically overcome this deficit problem. And we do that by regripping. All right? And it looks like this. At the moment, I'm losing 3-1. I need to use my control arm in a way that controls my opponent's arms to give me a chance. Because I know once I can get rid of these two defence mechanisms, there's only the chin left. And if I have my hand in play, I'm going to win this every time we get to the strangle. All right, and that's what we want to be thinking about. So seatbelt control, his defences come in. Really basic, simple thing you can do is just roll your control arm on top of your opponent's hand and strip that grip. Notice I go to the thumb, the meaty part of the hand, not the thumb itself, but the meaty part of my opponent's hand, because that is the end of his lever. And that gives me the maximum amount of leverage and control. And I peel that off. Now it's 2 against 1. I only have to get rid of one other arm. And actually, if he's holding me high on my forearm, I might be able to beat that just with my strength to get through to that position, because he hasn't got the end of the lever like I have. So notice you don't always have to get the perfect grips. If my opponent's high here and inexperienced, I'm going to get under that neck anyway, and I'm going to apply that finish. All right? But once I've peeled this hand off, so let's look again, 2 hands on the strangle arm, peel it off, I'm going to pass it to my right hand, now freeing up my control hand. And that's going to go and attack this hand. And my aim now again is to aim for the thumb, the meaty part of the hand, to peel this off. And I only need to peel this off for a split second to give me access to the neck. And understand that when you get your thumb underneath your opponent's neck, that's checkmate. Provided you hide your thumb, there's no way your opponent can defend. So once this gets here, even if my opponent regrips onto my arm, it won't be enough to stop the leverage of the strangle. Okay? And again, we can talk about, perhaps next week, some strangling mechanics and some proper technique. But you have to be able to overcome the deficit problem. Of course, there are other options. We might get to control our opponent's hands on the same side. Maybe we look to control our opponent's arms with our legs. Again, freeing up this deficit problem to apply the strangle. However you do it, and however you practice, you should spend time with your partner playing this position, because this is the fight to finish the fight. If you can't overcome the deficit problem, you will not strangle your opponent.
And if you can't strangle your opponent, all you're doing is controlling them, and that gives them time to escape, because that's what they want to do. So we go up to threaten the neck the whole time. If your opponent isn't experienced and isn't defending, I will take the strangle every day of the week. And that happens sometimes when we take the back in the transition. Okay, the neck might be left unguarded, and I will take it. Okay, and that's the finish right there. That's all we need. But let's go back to the deficit problem. 2 hands on one, control arm comes underneath, peels the hand off, controls the end of the lever. I can pass it to the other hand. I can now do the same thing here. Peel it off, split second opening, that's all I need. Done. This is the way you need to practice. Okay? That is the main issue when finishing from the back. Controlling from the back, really briefly, I think this should be a separate video. What we want to think about is we think about maintaining our alignment with our opponent, my chest up to their back, and disallowing their ability to misalign either this way or laterally side to side. My arm, my strangle arm, does that for me on this side. My head must do it for me on this side, here. Okay, if my opponent can beat my head, they can now beat my shoulders and they can escape the back. There's no strangles here. So I must stay tight whilst I deal with the deficit problem. All right, doesn't matter which side you roll to, even to this side, the deficit problem still exists. If Coach T defends properly, I will do everything we've just talked about to beat this problem. And I will win the fight every single time. Okay, it's a system. The person who's created this system or who's popularised it in recent times, John Danaher. Marcelo Garcia has been doing this for years. All right, it is really the way to finish from the back. But remember what we said at the very beginning. If you get the back, you must stay on the back. Don't lose control while you fight for the submission. All right, hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you all soon. Take care.